Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share about something quietly powerful, something that many of us push to the side, our creativity. If you ever thought, I'm not very creative, I'm not really an artist, or my art isn't good enough, this message is for you. Have you ever held off on doodling, coloring, writing, or crafting simply because you believed your work wouldn't be any creative or good? Because you thought only real artists or people with talent deserve that time and space to explore art. I want to challenge that idea today, and I want to share with you a story. My story with creativity in form of drawing. For many others, it might be with some other forms of art. For example, writing, like my partner Dean, or coding and writing programs like my younger brother, or knitting like my mom. My story is particularly with drawing, sketching, coloring, painting, all of that. The insight on this story is only formed in hindsight, looking back now that I'm in my mid-30s. My relationship with creativity has been a lifelong journey. From what I could remember, I was really interested in doodling and making art at a very young age. Back then, art was both my escape and my return to myself. I mean, same to now too, but I only can understand this now. Art is a doorway into a wonderland for me when I create story, tell story, and immerse in the magical world of witches, princesses, magical creatures. And at the same time, it's a way to return to myself and feel safe and joyful, especially when the world around me back in those days felt chaotic. My parents never really get along. There's always loud arguments and tension between family members at home. And my school brought its own pressures, exams after exams, performance expectations, and endless comparisons. I love drawing. Doodling, sketching, drawing, coloring, painting was my language. And yet, I was often scolded for it. And I was told off by choosing to draw instead of doing math homework. Typical story. No one took it seriously when I scored highest in art class. But if my math grade dropped, there was yelling, disappointment, and punishment, both from home and also at school. This is probably a familiar story to many people, especially people my age in Vietnam those days, where lots of the time creativity was often overlooked in favor of academic performance. But then later on, my parents actually supported me to apply to architecture school. And they paid for me to attend art classes to prepare for the entrance exam. I didn't actually want to become an architect, but I was so scared by looking at how the whole society would not have much support for artists. The common fear to be a starving artist. That's why I picked architecture instead of art school. In fact, what I truly wanted was just to draw by hand, to tell stories through lines and colors, to be creative freely and fully. Fast forward a decade when I quit my job in architecture and interior design industry to become a full-time illustrator. And along the way, I also began to teach creative workshops. I host a lot of creative collages, workshop, mindfulness, coloring, painting, all of those for the last couple of years. Along all those years of becoming an adult and starting to experience a lot more hardships in life, just like everyone else does. Creativity for me has become one of the two wings that lift stress and anxiety. The other is a practice of slow living. So the two wings that can help to lift my stress and anxiety is creativity with art, coloring, and slow living. I have to say that these days, without my art practice, sketching and coloring, I don't think I could self-regulate my emotion and be the joyful, positive person that I am most of the time. If I had to describe my relationship with art in one sentence, maybe two sentences, it would be, regardless of obstacles, it still rises. We are one, inseparable. What I have learned, not only through years of personal practices, but also from helping others in creative workshops, is this. Creativity is in our soul, in our blood. We each hold the key to express it in our own way. And sometimes we are also the ones who lock it away. I definitely have tried to lock it a little bit when I was trying to pursue my career in architecture. Choosing being able to have a stable and good income than the ups and downs, figuring out the way in the art industry. Whereas it's a lot harder because there's no clear path of how you can make good money doing art. However, I did decide to unlock it by the end. And the thing is, you don't have to choose art as a career or creativity as a career. It's just my life option choices. That one of the choices that I made. But no, you can just enjoy creativity and art as it is, as a hobby. You don't have to be an artist to be creative. And so if you have ever thought, I am not creative, or I'm not good enough, or it's too late for me, I want you to hear this again. You do not have to be an artist to be creative. You do not have to be skilled, trained, or productive to make space for creative joy. Your creativity deserves to be priority because you deserve to be whole, to feel, to breathe, to create something that's just for you. And another thing that I want to talk about as well is why bad art is a wonderful thing. There's a lot of us that have the fear of making bad art, including myself, who have been making this a profession. This is something that I hear over again from people that come into my workshop, from people that thinking of coming to my art workshops, but fear of making something bad and not able to forgive themselves or move on from that. Here's the truth. Making bad art is not a failure. It's a practice, a freedom to explore. How wonderful to have that freedom to explore. Without bad art, there won't ever be good art. So what does that mean for us? It means your messy doodles matter. It means those coloring pages in which we think that the colors combo were bad are actually important and meaningful in a way that they show us what works and what doesn't. When we allow ourselves to create imperfectly, we give ourselves room to explore. We step outside of perfectionism and into presence. We stop performing and start expressing. A professional artist sometimes will make 100 pieces of bad art to then have one good one. When I hear this from a podcast that I couldn't remember which one, but I feel a sense of relief, and I started to allow myself to explore different mediums even more than before. And this was a couple of years ago when I started to do art full-time. And another very, very important thing is making time for creativity is not selfish. For me, prioritizing creativity is not selfish. It's actually nourishment for my well-being, for my nervous system. And it doesn't have to be a huge masterpiece or a finished project. It can be just 10 minutes coloring in or doodling in my notebook. Some quiet moments with paper and pens or pencil or markers. This is actually, I feel like, how I remember who I am beneath the roles, the to-do list, the pressure to, be a certain way, to perform a certain way. If doing coloring is so relaxing, or some other type of art is so relaxing and healing, why is a waste of time? Why is that? If something that makes us feel so good, well rested, regulated, and having clear thoughts by the end, then it's definitely worth of time. I want to share with you this. Guess what? These days, whenever I visit my parents in Vietnam, only one per year these days, my dad still thinking that my art is a waste of time. He doesn't say this directly to me, but his actions, a lot of the time, saying this very loud. Because he's always interrupt me when I paint or color in my books, because he look at it as I'm just killing time. And it's happened again and again and again since I was a little child and until now. Or how he often offered to help me get a job. And he does that all over again. I could take this personally, but over the years, I learned that his idea on life actually has nothing to do with me. His relationship with creativity is actually not a reflection of my relationship with creativity. And as long as I honor my creative practices and make time for it, nothing else really matters. I mean, sometimes if he needed help with something, I definitely can drop my art process to come and help him. But it doesn't mean that I will allow that to happen all the time when there's no real particular reason, just because my dad doesn't really appreciate art the same way with me. The main thing is, it doesn't upset me anymore. It's just something that he does, and I accept him. I don't want to kind of argue or, try to make him to understand, because he's a bit stuck in his idea, and that's actually nothing to do with me. So I just keep doing what I'm doing with my art every day. And it has been over 6 years since I'm running my art business. My dad's still asking me every now and then if he could help me to find a job. And that's okay. I appreciate his offer to help. But I know that I'm perfectly content and happy with my art practice. So here is my gentle invitation to you. Let yourself create. Badly, beautifully, inconsistently, or consistently, however you want to explore your relationship with creativity. Let yourself play with no pressure to share, sell, or succeed. So, don't wait for permission. Don't wait to be good enough. Because regardless of external obstacles, your creativity still rises when you allowed it. Thank you for watching and listening to the video today. I will see you in the next one.